Welcome in, fellow bears. This is Crazy Bear Gold. This day 4 on the video series Making Gold with Housing Decor. Today's video will be covering crafting intermediate items. We've decided to create a crafter CBG Farm 4. She will be doing inscription, and we trained her up on 3 expansions: Northrend, Dragonflight, and the War Within. So housing decor items, when they sell, are usually really good money, but they don't sell very often. So we want to have we want to craft items that will sell more on a daily basis and have a little bit better stream of income each and every day. The question is, how do you figure out what you want to be crafting as what I call intermediate items? And there is a wonderful website. By the way, this is the CBG Making Gold with Decor spreadsheet. I will have that in the description of the video below. It has all of the resources that I talk about in this video series, so you can go out and get that. Don't worry about writing down each one, but there is a wonderful website called housing.wowdb.com. It has all of the housing decor, not just crafted items. So we're going to go up here to this decor item, and we're going to scroll down a little bit, and we're looking for the crafting. We want to include crafting, and then we're going to go back into there, and we're going to filter by professions inscription, and then we're going to filter that started. So we're going to say the War Within, and you can see that the War Within inscription has 6 items that you can craft. So what we want to do is we want to figure out what are the intermediate items that we want to be crafting. So if somebody else is crafting an Algary fence, what do they need? If you look right here, they need Dornic fir lumber. They got to go out and gather that. They also need shadow ink. That's an inscription intermediate item. Aha. And then core alloy, that's a blacksmithing one that we can't do that, but looky there, shadow ink. Let's take a look at the next one. There's shadow ink again. Okay, so it's starting to look like shadow ink might be a good candidate. Let's look at the bookcase. The bookcase needs apricot ink and codified greenwood. Those are both inscription items. So now I've got 3 things. Let's go look at the next one. It just takes a second to these. Shadow ink. Table needs boundless cipher, which is an inscription item, and codified greenwood. Okay. And it needs shadow ink. So shadow ink, apricot ink, codified greenwood, and boundless ciphers. Those 4 items, we want to set up TSM so that we can craft these items quickly, restock, get them posted, and get on with the game. Now, I do have a video series on setting up TSM. It goes in detail about TSM. It's this video right here. Again, it's in the spreadsheet. You can easily link to and watch it. I'm not going to go into setting up TSM. Just know that you do need TradeSkillMaster to do this, okay? So let me hop on my crafter, and we're going to get her set up. So we're going to start by turning on TSM. I don't have it on right now. I'm going to take and start a brand new profile for this girl. So I'm going to call this CBG Farm 4 description. So the reason I'm doing that is so that I start with a blank slate. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to take and craft the items that I'm going to be doing. Okay, so let's get on our inscriptionist and see what we're going to do here. So we need to make the inks. The inks need pigments. We need to mill those. So what we need to do is get a lot of herbs. So I'm just going to go out and buy the herbs. Remember, we installed Auctionator. I could create a shopping list. So I'm going to call this TWW herbs, and then what I need to do is just search for each of the ones that I want to have. So I can add that to list. Now notice it's got a lot of other stuff in there. You can go here and you can say exact search, and that will bring up only the microboom. And then orbited, same thing here, add the list, make it an exact. Lure drop, so I'm gonna blessing bluff. So now if I click on the search, it brings up all my herbs. You can kind of keep track of whether these are good price. Okay, so this is $8.95. That's a bait. So 5 is probably where my best deal is. I'm gonna just buy 2,000 of each. Okay, so I need to mill up all these herbs. There is an add-on called Mass Salvage Assist that makes that a lot easier. So I'll turn that on. I'll put that in my notes too. So we're gonna come in here and we're just gonna pick this and enjoy the music as we mill all these herbs up. Okay, so we finished milling all those herbs up. Now what I need to do is go get a bunch of water. Let me just do that. Actually, I'm gonna turn on another add-on called Bulk Buy. Type it in here. You have to have a bunch of water. Buying it 1,000 at a time is just gonna take forever. So I'm just buy 10,000. I'm gonna buy another 10,000. Anyway, we're back at it. We're gonna be crafting up the ink next. So enjoy. Oh, one of the things I forgot to mention is, if you notice here in milling, when you're milling an herb up, resourcefulness is the key attribute. So you want to make sure you have a resourcefulness tool on. Now that I'm switching to inks, you notice multi-craft is there. So I want to make sure I put on my multi-craft tool. Again, I'm not optimized. This is not a video on optimizing, but might as well get as much as we can out of this girl. So I put the multi-craft tool on and let's craft away. Real quick, this making of the inks is taking forever. I forgot there is a file you can buy, aerated file of quick hands that will speed that up a little bit. So I'm going to get that and apply that. It lasts 30 minutes. So we're going to get back to crafting our ink. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set up TSM for these operations. So I'm going to create a new one called Inscription. You can set this up. I have a video on how to set up TSM, so I'm not going to go through details, but I'm going to just take and set up one for inks. I'll put my 2 inks in there, and then I'm going to set up one for boundless, ciphers. Greenwood. Okay. Again, I'm just doing this kind of quick to show you. So my operations. So in my auctioning operation, I always create one for each of my groups. So I'll just call this, rename this the boundless cipher. And just for simplicity, I only post for 12 hours. Doesn't make sense. I'm gonna post 20% of my inventory, and I'm gonna leave the rest of the default. Again, I have a whole series on TSM. If you're interested in learning more in detail about each of these things, then you can do it. But I'm gonna just post 20 of each. So now when I go into the auction house, post, I'm only going to post the 2 groups that I care about. I don't want to post everything in my inventory. There they are. For some reason, these are saying inks. Fix that. TSM. Okay, the group did it, but I didn't assign it to my operation. Override. So now when I get in the auction house, post. Now, I'm going to post these. You will always get this error on the first time you use a new group. Don't worry about it, just say done. Now, hopefully these will sell quickly. Okay, so it's a couple hours later. North America just had their reset, and I had a couple things to get done. So it is a couple hours later. We collected 3,200 gold right before we started the video again, and we reposted, and we're selling stuff again. So I'm gonna just show you the repost. It looks like everything's selling right now. That's good news. If you can see in the bottom left, I'm gonna repost. Keep that money coming in. So in summary, we went out to the housing.wildb to look up what are the items that are intermediate items for crafting housing decor. From there, we then took and bought the materials off the auction house, the raw mats, converted them into what I call intermediate mats, so that we can start selling them. And you can see it's still selling, getting some more sales in. Tomorrow, day 5, we will talk about crafting housing decor and getting that posted on the auction. Hope everyone's enjoying the series. I know I am. Come back and see me again tomorrow. Have a great day.